Hey, I'm Sam Holtzhausen and I run for the Altra Red Team. I am a cardiopulmonary physiotherapist, so that means that I have a special interest in the heart and the lungs. And I guess my love for the lungs sort of started when I was a student in my 4th year. From the moment I entered the intensive care unit, I was just fascinated with just the setup, the environment, and just how sick the patients were. And I remember thinking, you know, if the care isn't just the best here, you know, what does that mean for these patients later on in life if they ever make it out of this unit? We see patients that have shortness of breath due to underlying lung conditions like cystic fibrosis or emphysema, guys that are on oxygen, patients waiting for or coming back from double lung transplants. And we teach them how to breathe and we get them through and help improve their quality of life. And I can honestly say I can't imagine myself doing anything else. It's a field of physiotherapy that not many people know exists. And you know, that being what I used to do on the daily and what I grew to love, this pandemic turned things upside down a little bit in that our patients who are so immunocompromised obviously had to start isolating at home. So we closed the rehab center to keep them safe, and I then moved into the hospital to join our hospital team in the ICU, working on the front lines of this pandemic. And it's been a big change in how we do things daily, just in the type of patients that are coming in and how extremely sick they are. It puts a huge strain on the medical system and on the guys working on the front line. You know, they say that this thing it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and the fatigue in healthcare workers is huge. And I must say that if I didn't have running during this time, it would have been that much more difficult for me. Running has always been sort of an escape for me. On a good day, on a bad day, hitting the trails, it kind of just made everything okay, even when it wasn't. It made me feel like it was, and running's always given me the hope and courage to, you know, to walk into my job on the daily and hopefully, you know, give those feelings over to my patients as well, to give them the hope and the courage and the bravery that they need to encounter their lives, which are really difficult at times. I think it's more a gratitude thing, and just being able to hit the trails with this newfound gratitude for just being able to be outside, you know, feeling the wind on your skin, the rain, the sun. It doesn't matter, you know, you're just so grateful to be out there. I remember a week or two ago, there were a few consecutive days where I wasn't able to get outside, and it was really difficult for me. And I'm a much better person when I run, but I didn't really like how not running made me feel. You know, it made me feel a lot more tense, a lot more anxious. I mean, you get home every evening with a sore throat, not because you have this thing, but because you are shouting through a mask all day. And running kind of helps you realize that everything is okay. We are so lucky to have legs that allow us to climb mountains and lungs that allow us to breathe, and it's a shame that sometimes we don't realize that that's enough. So we don't know when this whole thing will end. We don't know if it's next month or if at the end of the year we'll still be suiting up and masking up and social distancing. We don't really know where things are going from here. We like to remain as positive as we can and to hold on to that hope that things will soon be better. But what does comfort me is that running, as simple as it is always going to be there during the pandemic, after the pandemic, and in many years to come. When I first started trail running, it was a 6K trail, and it was the first time I did something like this. I remember thinking to myself, I can't believe I never knew this existed, and I'm just going to do this for the rest of my life. And it's the most comforting thought on those terribly difficult and frustrating days that I will always have this in whatever form, whether it's a great run, whether I'm still trying to find my flow, whether a run turns into a walk, that it's okay, that it's always going to be there for me, and it's always going to be able to be my escape. And that is the most comforting thought. And it definitely gets me through the difficult days, and it keeps me grounded.